Welcome back to my round 23 tips. 2 rounds to go. The season has gone so fucking quick. And here we are with some massive deciding games. Top 8 battles. We're talking the big fucking tests. The big test is what we'll call it. Now, we're going to go straight into it. Essendon take on Sydney at Marvel Stadium on Friday night. Now, the Swans are just favourites. If Essendon win this game, I think they can well and truly make the finals. And if they lose, the season is officially over. Sydney, I believe, do not have Chad Warner. I'm actually going to go for an Essendon victory against the grain because I just think Sydney are still out of form. And I think that home win last week was purely based off Heaney and Warner and not the team itself. And as much as I want Essendon to lose, I'm going to back the Swannies in. Essendon in. Gold Coast take on Melbourne on Saturday. I'm going to go with the Gold Coast victory. Melbourne, injuries galore. No Oliver, no Petrarca. Gold Coast will be winning this game. Moving on swiftly to Saturday, we have got Giants taking Fremantle Football Club. I'm going to tip the Giants. I do think Fremantle will have that potential to win. And I think this is something where a game where Freo might win. But I'm going to go with the Giants. Collingwood take on Brisbane at the G. I'm going to go with the Brisbane Lions victory. Now, every other time I've tipped Collingwood, but I think Brisbane want revenge and they're going to win this game. Port Adelaide take on Adelaide at Adelaide Oval. Port Adelaide get the victory. It's a reverse fixture of the derby. Port Adelaide win. I am rapidly going through this. Now, a bit more context about Port Adelaide winning as I comb my hair here. Why am I doing that? Port Adelaide are just way more in form than Adelaide. Even though Adelaide are in form, it's their home ground, Port Adelaide, and it's Adelaide Oval. It's the derby, and this is for a top 2 position. The Giants being Fremantle, I know I've already tipped these, but I want to explain it a little bit more. I know I'm going really quick. The Giants being Fremantle is purely based off who's more in form, the Giants, who's at home, the Giants. Therefore, statistically, the Giants are going to win. I did say last week when the Giants played Brisbane away from home that they could win, and they did. So me saying Freo could win is scaring me a little bit. Maybe they will, but we're going to be going with the Giants there. And obviously, like I just said, with Collingwood Brisbane, it's purely based of the fact that I've tipped only home teams so far, and also revenge. Let's just go with the revenge there. St Kilda take on Geelong at Marvel Stadium. Both these teams are quite in form. Geelong are the favourites, but I'm going to be tipping St Kilda. I think they're better than them at Marvel, if that makes sense. The Dogs take on North Melbourne at Marvel Stadium. The Dogs also win, dominating the Dogs. Sorry, the Dogs will dominate North Melbourne, as they always do. Someone's kicking 10 goals. Hawthorn take on Richmond at the G. 100-point victory to Hawthorn. That's pretty cool. That'll cement their percentage as well, Hawthorn, which is, it's 108, but it could still improve. And then finally, West Coast take on Carlton at Optus Stadium. Now, for me, this is the hardest game to tip. Carlton have a plethora of injuries. They were absolutely slaughtered last week, and their injury list is not great. They've lost Sard. They've lost, most importantly, alongside Martin, Fogarty, and Boyd, they've lost Charlie Curnow and Harry Mackay. Can they win without those two? I'm not so sure. Lewis Young's going to be playing forward line, you would assume. Other players, I don't know. Now, the West Coast Eagles, their strength, I think, is also in their key defenders, McGovern and Barras. I think this is going to be a very low-scoring game for Carlton. Now, I think for Carlton to win, they're going to have to change their game style to a very much small forward, dynamic team who don't bomb long inside 50, but keep it along the ground. Make sure McGovern and Barras don't intercept mark. So no hitting targets this week for Carlton. It's all got to be either hitting a lead, changing angles, or kicking it into space. Now, the question is, can Michael Voss in 1 week transform their game style? I'm not so sure. The outs are so devastating that I really don't want to tip Carlton here. Everything's telling me that Carlton will just win. West Coast, the form they're in right now, which is better. They just are in better form. So it's a hard one to predict. It is a hard one to predict. Last time Carlton played West Coast at home in Perth, Carlton dominated. In fact, the last 2 times that's happened. So it's a really, really tough one. I think the midfield of Carlton will dominate West Coast, but they won't be able to score. So it's going to be low scoring for me. I'm going to go with an upset Carlton win. I think the blessing of Carlton is Fremantle have a pretty tough run. This week they obviously got the Giants at home. Next week, Fremantle have got, bear with me here, they have got Port Adelaide at home. So 2 really tough games. Carlton next week have St Kilda, and that's their home ground at Marvel Stadium. And then obviously this week they got the West Coast Eagles. I think Fremantle will win one of the next 2 games. I'm not quite sure which one. But the point is, if Fremantle win one of the next 2 games, Carlton have to win 2 of the next 2 games because Hawthorn aren't dropping points. The Dogs, I believe, in round 24 have an easy get. No! Oh, they've got the Giants. Okay, so it's really, for me, between Freo, the Giants, and Carlton. Just off the... I'm going to go with Carlton. It's an upset win, but my rule is usually 3 upsets. Essendon beating Sydney is an upset. Ooh, what about Brisbane Collingwood? No, Brisbane are the favourites. Essendon beating Sydney is an upset. St Kilda beating Geelong is an upset. And then West Coast beating Carlton is an upset. That's 3 upsets. And they're my round 23 tips. Let me know in the comments what your tips are. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in another video.